How do I say it?
Season are in the bag following the performance at Portman Road, and tonight the team are back in cup action as they look to progress to the third round of the EFL Cup with a win over that team from over the Pennines. Okay, maybe not that team, but the one just around the corner. It's Salford City versus Leeds United, and this is Matchday Live. Thank you so much for joining us here on Matchday Live. Good evening, thank you so much for joining us here on Matchday Live, wherever you are in the world. You'll see a WhatsApp number on the screen. Please do use that to get in touch with us. Send us your pretty much photos, questions, pictures, whatever it may be. Now, unfortunately, due to restrictions, we can't show cup games, but what we can show you is the audio commentary with Tony Dorigo and Bryn Law. So you can listen to that with us. And if you're an LUTV subscriber, then the full 90 minutes will be available for you later on this evening. Now, we've got plenty to get through, and I'm delighted to say that joining us for this all-female lineup, we have the Leeds United women's captain, Rebecca Bass.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I'm absolutely loving this. First up, how's your injury? How's your
it's getting there, thank you. I've had one operation, been back in training for a little bit, so I just build up my fitness because I was very tired after the first one.
You've got a lot of positivity in you though.
Yeah, you've got to do, yeah. I was out for 8 months, so just to get back into training was brilliant, so it's just nice to get back and doing it.
And in terms of the women's team, we're going to talk about that more shortly, but the feeling in camp got to be a positive one.
Yeah, definitely. Two games, 2 wins, so you can't ask for much more than that.
Well, let's look at tonight's team, shall we? You should see the team rotating on the screen at some point, but Somerville back after missing the last few games. He hasn't played since the opening day against Cardiff. This is a good opportunity for him, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think cup games for these kind of players who've not played for a while is brilliant. You know, get them back into it, get them lively and just get them enjoying the football again, get them playing and get some minutes.
Ruter as well, of course, got his goal at the weekend. He's going to be full of confidence, isn't he?
Absolutely, and for a player like that, you know, he came in and had this massive, everyone thought he needed to be amazing, and for him to get that first goal finally, for him, will have just been an absolute relief, and hopefully he goes and gets another one and has a great game. What
can that pressure be like? You know, when you have that pressure on you, when you sign to a new club and all eyes are on you, I imagine it could be quite a struggle actually.
Oh, huge, yeah, especially for the price that we paid for him, you know, it's massive, and he's only a young kid, that's a huge thing to have on his shoulders, but at the same time, it's massive credit to him. He must be a good footballer, you know, if people are paying that for him. So he just needs to go and prove it now.
Massive credit as well to Pascal Struijk, who's captaining the side tonight after making his 100th appearance against West Brom. That just shows, doesn't it, how much we appreciate and value him as an experienced player.
Yeah, definitely. And I think to be the captain of this club is unbelievable, you know. And for him as well at that age, to go and do that, for him will be unbelievable. There probably won't be much better things for him.
Charlie Cresswell as well, a chance for him to impress tonight, isn't
Definitely,
it?
I've been really impressed with Charlie as well. I watched him a lot last season. He knows the Championship, he knows what it's like, and he's a proper Leeds lad, so he's very, very good for us.
Look, you're a massive Leeds fan. We all know that, don't we? Tell us about the magic of the Cup, because these games are special, aren't they?
Oh, of course they are. The magic of the Cup at any level, at any team is amazing, you know. You could go and beat somebody who are 2-3 leagues above you. Look at us against Man United all them years ago. That for me is one of my favourite ever memories as a Leeds fan. So for them it'll be the same, but for us we want to go and play and get as high as we can do and get as far as we can in the Cup and just enjoy the journey.
Is it the same for the women's team? You know, is there a slightly different feeling around the Cup games?
No, I think it's quite nice in the women's game because we kind of play a lot of teams that we wouldn't necessarily play in the league. Last year for us we got to play against Arsenal in the 5th round of the FA Cup. That was amazing. Just the experience itself, you know, to play against some of the best players in the world was just unreal.
It means so much, doesn't it, to the clubs in the lower leagues when they come up against sort of Championship and Premier League clubs, and also financially it's massive for them.
Yeah,
isn't
definitely. Yeah, the money's brilliant that gets put back into the club, and it's nice for us sometimes when we play against teams who are a lot lower than us. You know, we're their cup final, they come to us as if we're the Arsenals. You know, and it's really nice to see that they want to be where we are, and they get that buzz to play against the bigger clubs and the bigger teams. So it is amazing, yeah.
Right, well, let's head over to where tonight's action is at the Peninsula Stadium and get some team news reaction from our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo.
This side, but the job is straightforward, I guess, Tony. Get through.
Yes, exactly. Put on a good performance. I think carry the momentum in from that Ipswich game. I think that's really important as well. We've got a fairly strong side out, so I think Daniel Farke means business and get through the side.
We've got Pascal Struijk, who gets to wear the armband tonight. Luke Ayling on the bench. What difference might that make to his game? Is that an extra pressure?
It can be, but I think he should take it really on the shoulders and see it as a compliment, because clearly he's an important player. Great to see him play that left-sided centre-half. His confidence is coming back. He's playing well, scoring, and now he's got the captain's armband, so I think he should see that as a good pat on the back.
Ruter in again from the off, had a really good weekend, got his first goal for the club. It's a great opportunity this for him to build on that, isn't it? It
is, and the goal that he scored was absolutely superb, and the confidence clearly is starting to come. I think we saw over that 90 minutes as well, it was a really good team performance. He linked well with Pirot and the wide men, and this is another opportunity for him to build on that. I'm sure he's so eager to get out there and play and hopefully score again.
Is there a place for a Carabao Cup run in Leeds United's season?
Winning, there's always a place for winning, absolutely. I think any time you get on that pitch, you keep winning games. And I know it's an extra game. I know we have a lot of games this season, but I tell you what, when you keep winning, they're a lot easier.
I want Tony Dorigo to say winning one more time, please. We had Tony in the studio the other day for the game against Ipswich. He's a good luck charm, so let's hope you are tonight, Rebecca.
Hopefully so, but I'm not coming back, am I?
Correct. But we'll get back to this game shortly. But let's just talk more about the women's team. 2 wins in 2, beat Leek 4-1 last time out. That must have really buoyed confidence.
Yeah, definitely. First game was in the league, second game in the cup. But it just shows that pre-season works. We've built in pre-season, everyone's kind of performed and got us to where we want to be, and it's just a massive boost in confidence to get us to where we want to be this season.
We can see some of the highlights from that game on the screen at the minute, but in terms of the transfer window, it was really quite fascinating. We were chatting about this off air, weren't we? Obviously, the transfer window is coming to an end very soon in the men's game, but it works quite differently, doesn't it, in the women's game? Can you just talk us through that?
Yeah, so we don't necessarily have a transfer window. People kind of register to a team, and then if a team wants to come in for a player, they'd put like a 7-day contract in for somebody. Not a contract, but so the other team can discuss that with that player. If they want to discuss it with the team, then they'll let them discuss it. But if they don't, then they kind of put the blockers on. So it is a bit crazy, yeah.
So you could leave midway through a season if you had the blessing.
If someone put in 7 days like this week and a player wanted to go, then it could literally happen immediately, yeah.
How do you find that? Because I imagine it has its pros and its cons.
Yeah, it does, yeah, because obviously you get your team and you want to build on it, and then next week someone might come in and get a better offer and go somewhere else. So, but then it has its pros because other players might want to come to us, so it works in both ways, I suppose.
Well, Rick Passmore, of course, I know a lot of you are a big fan of his. We found out that he was leaving ahead of the weekend's game. It must be quite difficult to adjust to that when a manager who you all get on with really well is leaving. Yeah,
definitely. Rick's been my manager before, many years ago, and he was just as crackers then. But he got on with us all. We did well last year, we did well in the cup, like I said earlier. And he was a good guy, but to obviously find out he was leaving, it was hard, but we kind of had to just buckle up and do it again. We just started the season. Unfortunately, we had to be selfish and say, well, this is about us, we need to go and win the game. And we're really lucky at Leeds because we've got a really tight team, we're all stick together and all we want to do is win. We want to go and play football and win. So whether you've got a manager or not, that's still the desire at the end.
Amazing attitude. But how does it affect things practically moving forward? Obviously, you'll all gather together and you want to play for the badge, but how does it affect things?
It's one of those where who knows who'll come in, you know, that's up to the club, they decide who comes in. But you've just got to, for some people it's probably a good thing, some people it might not be, you know, players who didn't play as much last year, they can go and show themselves and hope to get that starting 11 shirt, and some players who did play, they might not be in the team, you know, like they were last year. So it's again positive, negatives, but it's someone else's ideas, someone else's creativity to go and say, well, this is where we want to be, this is where the club want to be, and that's where I want to take you. So you've got to go into it with open arms.
Well, there's been quite a few changes within the squad as well. But how settled are you? How equipped are you feeling for this season?
It's hard. We've had injuries, we've had players go out, players come in, you know. We've not necessarily played that long with anybody. So that'll take a couple of weeks to, you know, get comfortable and playing around the certain players. But we, like I said before, we're a good team, we work hard together. So I think working hard kind of steps you over the line a little bit, you know, before all the things come in the way.
Well, let's hope we see some of that tonight.
Hopefully so, especially against Salford.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, tonight's fixture is actually a repeat of the cup clash that we saw back in 2019 against Salford. Let's just remind ourselves of that.
It comes out here towards Clark. Clark just plays it across right-hand side now to Phillips. Phillips in towards Alioski, 20 yards outside the edge of the penalty area as far as Leeds are concerned. Shackleton now, he's got an opportunity to play it in towards Costa. It was a great ball. Costa's
Yes!
And look who's got it on his debut. Eddie Nketiah with the goal. Tapped it in from 3 yards. Helder Costa with a corner kick here for Leeds. It's driven in towards that near post area and it's been converted in. Leeds have got a second goal in the game and Gaetano Berardi wheels away. They have a corner kick, they could set it up for themselves in front of this vociferous home crowd as the corner kick came in. Jones thought he was going to get ahead on that one and able to put that towards goal, but there was terrific defending. Now the ball is cleared and Mateus Click is onto this one. He's got Nketiah for company as well. It's still with Mateus Click, edge of the area. Click goes for goal! Finds the back of the net.
Come on!
Fantastic strike. Surely now Leeds are into the second round of the Carabao Cup.
I think we'd take a 3-0 win again tonight, wouldn't we?
Definitely, yeah, absolutely.
A rare Berardi goal, but you could see just how much that meant to him, couldn't you?
The man bled Leeds United. If you cut him up, there was blue, white and yellow in those veins. And yeah, he was captain, that was perfect for him.
We've had so many of those players over the year that you look back and you see footage like that and you don't forget, but it just reminds you how special they are.
And it kind of gives you goosebumps watching it again. You think, wow, like that was amazing. Yeah, brilliant.
Look, let's talk about the cup, because in terms of approach, Rebecca, is it just a case of getting through?
Unfortunately, sometimes it is, yeah. You know, you come up against teams who will just want to batter you. They just want to get you knocked out and score that goal and then defend and defend. So it's one of those where you just need to try and outplay them. You know, you've got to pry a little bit, and even if it gets to 85 minutes and they've parked the bus for the whole game, just keep creating those little chances and something will come. I think our top three are brilliant this season, so I think with that, they will create the chances and hopefully get us the goal. And
as for the opposition, they're 10th in League Two, but they beat Preston on penalties in the last round. And like you and I spoke about before we came on air, in the Cup, anything can happen.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said before, Beckford, sorry.
Beckford.
Yeah, there we go, we got there. Against Man United, like, especially against them, like you.
Jermaine doesn't like to talk about that goal, though.
Listen, I will talk about that any day of the week for you, Jermaine. What a goal that was! But against Salford, Manchester, let's go and do it.
Absolutely. And in terms of the Ipswich game, because obviously we touched on it, but I don't feel like we reflected on that win as much as we should have, really. That was a brilliant game in terms of who the goal scorers were and the lift that will have given the team.
And obviously going into that Ipswich, we're top of the league, you know, going away from home is massive to go and get that win. And the 4 goals that we did score were from players who the building confidence that they'll get is absolutely huge from that. And the new guy coming in, getting his goal on his debut, and like we said before, Rutter getting his goal, like that will just push them.
What did you make of Joel Pirro?
I thought he played brilliantly. I think he's the striker we've been missing for a long time. You know, someone who gets silly little goals or gets himself in the area, gets his toe on anything, and will just get us the goal that we need to get us through.
In terms of approaches, what frailties, if any, did you see in that Ipswich game that you think Daniel Farke will have worked on between then and now?
I think defensively we've got a few areas that we do need to work on. Unfortunately, we are conceding a few goals, and that doesn't help. I know we scored more, but we don't want to be conceding as many. But I think the positives were the attacking three, you know, and the build-up play that we made in the middle I thought was great.
Defensively, sorry, just on that, when you do concede, in the same way we say that, you know, strikers, when they score goals, it gives them confidence. How much does that kill your confidence?
Massively. For myself, I'm a defender, and you go into every game hoping to keep a clean sheet. You do not want to be conceding. But it's all about the way that you hold yourself. If you do concede, you have to just brush it off. You have to carry on. You could concede in the first minute, but you've got 89 minutes to go and carry on. You need to go and push your team and go together.
How difficult can that be though at times? Because I imagine, I'm putting myself in that position, I'd never be in that position because
well, give it a go.
I mean, I can't kick a ball to save my life, but I imagine mentality and having that mental strength, it must be so difficult at times.
Yeah.
You know, if you've given away a silly goal, for example.
And especially if it's your fault, you know, if you give away a pass or you make a mistake, it probably takes you, and if anyone says it didn't, they're lying. It probably takes you 5 minutes to get that out of your head, you know, completely, and just say to yourself, right, that's it, it's done now. I need to go and push forward and make sure we create something to get another one.
Do any of your teammates help you with that? You know,
yeah, definitely, yeah. And I like to pride myself in the fact that with being the captain, you've got to be strong and loud and push your team through, and that's something that'll go a long way. You know, if you've got someone behind you shouting, saying, right, let's go again, that will always give you that little boost to say, right, it's happened now. Like, it took 30 seconds for that to happen, but again, you've got however many minutes afterwards to go and get a goal. And
the importance of defence, and we hear it so many times, is that if you've got a good solid defence, it allows your attackers to have so much freedom because they've got the safety.
Yeah, absolutely, and for them up there, it's amazing. You know, they don't have to look behind them. Like, we will stick together at the back.
They just get all the glory.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we don't get the glory for keeping a clean sheet. They get it all at the top.
But it is true. That's kind of where that's where games are won and lost ultimately, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I imagine in the same way strikers feel that pressure to score goals, you feel a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and we had a case not last season, the season before, and it was like the strikers were getting 30 chances and maybe scoring one, and then we were conceding one goal from one chance, and it was like, well, you guys need to trust in yourself and believe in it that you score those goals, and we will, if we concede one, we'll score more, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
You know, you've got to keep going to kind of get that momentum to score as well.
Well, with that in mind then, how important is communication, even when you're training, so that you know you obviously know what your deliverables are on each end, but what I mean is so that you know with each other how the other one's working?
Yeah, I think football's a game, is teamwork. Obviously, you know, you've got your defence and your forwards, but it's that desire to ensure that you don't concede. You know, if somebody's running down our wing and you're playing up top, like, run to press the ball. You know, if we're out of shape, like, everyone needs to work together, and then we all go and score together as well. You know, it's a team goal and it's a team conceding. You can't just look and say, well, that was the keeper's fault or that was the defence. Like, we concede together and we score together.
Absolutely, and we saw, you know, 4 of those goals the other day. What were the impressive elements for you in that game? We've spoken obviously about the slight defensive frailties, the great attacking threat, but were there any individual performances that you thought were outstanding?
I really liked Sam Byram. I know he went off after 25 minutes, but I think even in the last couple of games, I think he's been brilliant. You know, he's the desire to win the ball, the desire to get in people's faces, you know, and press and really get us forward up the pitch, which I think we've not missed, but sometimes it's like we keep the ball, where with him it looks like he wants to go forward and he wants us to play nice attacking football, and I think that's really good. And like I said before, with the attackers that we've got on the pitch, like, that will be brilliant for them because all they want is to score goals.
That
you know,
freedom.
so yeah, to have the freedom. I think midfield, Ampadu, I think, has been great. You know, he is the steady ship in the middle.
What have you made of Archie Gray?
Absolutely class. At that age, to come in and be that composed on the ball, and he just looks like he does it with ease. You know, it looks like he's just having a kick about in the park with his mates. Like, I watched him here last week, and it was just like he was just playing in the garden. Like,
yeah,
what a young talent he is. Yeah,
he's just loving life, isn't he?
Who wouldn't be like at that age? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Right, let's head back over to the Peninsula Stadium, where Bryn Law has caught up with a man who's moonlighting this evening. Our very own Michael Bridges is with Sky Sports, isn't he?
Do you know there's a few changes in there, Bryn? So what excites me as well is seeing Gilhart back in. He's a huge opportunity, competition for places in the final third. A young kid who I really admire, and I'd love to see him step up to the mark tonight in the Carabao, get an opportunity. I'm delighted we've still got Ampadu and Archie holding that midfield, and a new opportunity for Shackleton at right back. And when you see that Ayling has done so well in the last few matches, again competition for places, and an opportunity for Shackleton to come in and do a job. And the goalkeeper for me, Darlow, a lad that I've seen the North East, an experienced goalkeeper. Competition for places is healthy between him and Melier, so a chance once again to see him perform.
Well, we saw Ruter perform very well at the weekend, and he gets another opportunity to build on that, doesn't he, tonight?
He certainly does. And when you think of I've seen him in previous games, and it kind of the player that you're thinking there's so much more to give. You can see in moments of brilliance, and then other times I'm thinking a little bit stronger, better touches. The Ipswich game, we saw. We saw something that we're going, wow, this kid's got something. And the goal that he scored, I think the confidence. So the understanding that he's got to have of the relationship tonight in this game alongside Gilhart, I'm hoping that we'll see them. Sometimes one goes into 10 position, and then Joffrey might go and play high, and then the opposite. If Joffrey goes roaming in the number 10, in the little holes, as I call them, the pockets of space to get on the ball, Ruter's got to play high and try and threaten him behind. And hopefully more of what we saw the other night, because goal scoring's all about confidence. And when you get one, hopefully, normally, a few should follow.
I mean, changes to the team, yes, but the expectation remains the same, that Leeds ought to beat Salford. Yes.
Well, that's what I'd like to think too. The divisions, the gap between the divisions, yes. I've got to say, a lovely stadium here, by the way. I didn't realise how nice it was. The pitch is looking superb, so we've got no excuse to get the ball down and play our style of play. In that regard, and like you say, you've got to come here. It's their opportunity, They're on the big stage, Salford, and they're looking to do an upset. We've got to come here professional with the right mindset, take the confidence from the Ipswich game. And what I really want to see tonight, Bryn, I want to see a clean sheet. I think everything has got to be to try and gain that. We've seen now we can score goals. The front line's looking dynamic with Willie Nonto back and Sinistera back involved. For me, it's about the defensive duties tonight, and can Darlow and the team keep that clean sheet?
Michael Bridges there, cheating on us with Sky Sports. How rude. He spoke, though, there about the importance of a clean sheet, Rebecca, which is kind of what we were talking about, the disappointment when you do concede. But just how important is that? Because, look, just watching Leeds in the early stages this season, that is, like you say, where we've let ourselves down a little bit.
Yeah, I think a clean sheet in a game just builds your confidence. If you keep a clean sheet, that's then something to just say, right, we've got one now, let's go and get another. We always set goals at the beginning of the season, say let's try and keep 5 clean sheets, and then you build from that and then build the next one. That's just something that will give your goalkeeper and your back four so much confidence, and they can go into it and say, well, we've done this bit here, now we move it up a little bit, we move it on to the next one, we move it on to the striker, and then they go and do the business up top.
And he mentioned Ruter as well, and the confidence that he's going to have. I know we touched on that earlier, but in a game like this, he's going to be looking to flourish again and get more goals and add to that tally, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely, and it might be unfortunate for him. They might try and play him out the game. He scored the goal, he will be in confidence. They might put 2 on him, but that's where we need to be clever and say there's gaps elsewhere, and then after 70 minutes they might tire and he might get his chance. But that bit of confidence that will have given him will be amazing for him, and to go and have the Leeds fans follow him and watch them away at Salford. If he scores there tonight, the noise will be unbelievable.
Oh, it certainly will. We also heard Bridgie talk about the fact that this is Salford's opportunity. That's how they will be looking at it. And like we say, any game is winnable, particularly in the cup. Anything can happen. But looking at our performances recently, tactically, what are they going to be thinking? What's their approach going to be to this game?
They'll probably come into it like a lot of teams, like the underdogs come in, they want to press you. They want to go on hell for leather, and try and get in your face. But we need to just be calm and collective for the first 10 minutes and just get a bit of composure on the ball. And then just play the ball around, and we're a very fit, strong team. So if we make them tire early on, we can hopefully after 70 minutes, just go and have some fun.
Yes, absolutely. And also with a good bench, you know,
Yeah.
you know, even when you look at the starting lineup, you know that we've got great resources on the bench to call on. If we need
And
it.
that's amazing to have. You know, some people don't like sitting on the bench. I get it, but for the manager to look at his bench and say, well, you 5 players are going to come on and probably score me a goal or change things, is as a fan is unbelievable. And for a manager, it's the worst headache, but it's a good headache to have.
Exactly that. Right. Before we head over to the Peninsula Stadium, score prediction
4-0.
to Leeds.
Come on. Come on.
Rebecca Bass, thank you so much. Right then, let's head over there, shall we, to the Peninsula Stadium to join our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo. But before that, let's hear from the man who's captaining the side tonight, Pascal Struijk.
Well, Pascal, congratulations, captain of the team tonight. Do you feel that's a big honour?
Yeah, you know, it's a big honour, and I'm quite happy with it. But it's something that I don't want to, you know, say too loud, because I want to keep my focus as much in the game as possible. Sometimes, you know how it goes. Assignment comes, so I want to take my focus on the game, and then, yeah, you know, I'm happy with it, and let's see how the game goes.
Yeah. So what's the aim of the exercise tonight? Just to get through?
No, I think we want to play, you know, a convincing win, if that's possible. And just a good performance from the team, you know, to take the momentum and then take it to the weekend.
Is there a good mood in the camp after what happened at Ipswich on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's happy after, you know, winning away. They were top of the league, so, you know, I think they had a very good run, and, well, happy to end it. So I think for us it's important that we do well today, you know, continue on the form we're building, and then keep it going.
Ten, 9. Well, welcome to Salford City, as the strains of Dirty Old Town come out over the PA as a prelude to the appearance on the playing surface of the home team, Salford City FC, a famous old folk song that was actually written about Salford. This is the Pogues version, I think, we're getting tonight, but it's been a pretty raucous build-up to the game here, as you would anticipate in this part of the world. There's been some quality Manchester tunes coming on. And now the two teams have appeared on the playing surface as well. Leeds United, for the first time this season, in the change kit, the peacock blue change kit. And Salford, who will be wearing red shirts, white shorts and white